how these factors can be influenced by the nutritional interventions. That is what we want, and that is the main objective of this lecture, today's lecture. So as you know, that sports performance can be divided into three broad categories. The sports events or the games and sports which are predominantly based on strength and speed, right? There are some games which where endurance is a largely responsible for your performances, like long distance runnings, and then they're combined in which endurance, strength and speed are equally involved. Then further, if you see, there are neuromuscular and mechanical detriments which are more predominant, in strength and speed events or sports, and physiological detriments are more predominant, or you can say more important in case of the endurance sports. And likewise, then neuromuscular mechanical performance, anaerobic power, capacity, okay, aerobic power, capacity performance, and then if you further, go down, at the micro level, then RFD, power and strength, total buffering capacity, lactic acid tolerance in case of strength and speed, and endurance, again the endurance, running economy, lactic threshold, and you can see further, this is how your performance, is, break down into various physiological and neuromuscular factors, right? Now, the question here is, can nutritional intervention improve or influence these factors? The answer is yes. So we can give proper nutritional intervention to the athletes to influence, like for example, if we want to increase the tolerance towards the lactic acid, if you want to increase the total buffering capacity, if you want to increase the aerobic power, if you want to increase the VO2 max, all those factors can be improved with the help of nutritional intervention. Now, if you look at here in the green, which just pop up on your screen, like caffeine can help in improving aerobic power capacity. At the same time, caffeine is equally good in improving your anaerobic power capacity. In the same way, sodium bicarbonate, it's a very simple, sodium bicarbonate is simple, just like a baking soda, which we all have in our homes, right? I don't know how many of you know that this is such an excellent supplement to improve your performance, especially in like 400 meters, 800 meters, judo, wrestling, all those activities where there is a high intensity short term, and short term, bouts, short term duration bouts. In all those activities, sports or events, sodium bicarbonate is very, very important. At the same time, beta alanine supplements. So these two can be combined together, sodium bicarbonate and beta alanine, to increase, your tolerance towards the lactic acid and also increasing your total buffering capacity. And then the nitrate, it is very simple. The nitrate what we get in the vegetable, our bucket, you will always find the nitrate. Beetroot, right? Beetroot is very, very common, vegetable you can find in your refrigerators, right? And beetroot is such an excellent nutrient for the nitrate, and nitrate is very, very important to improve your endurance performance. Okay, then we have collagen and gelatin support. Then creatine is there, which can improve your muscle mass. Then, again, type 2 fiber hypertrophy, optimum hydration, iron supplements if a person is anemic, otherwise not required, and also periodically training on low carbohydrate diet. So this is very important for our athletes to train, often during their training sessions on low carbohydrate diets and L-carnitine supplements. So this is in general. Now let's come to first the micronutrients, and then because the macronutrients are also very important in the form of supplements, and then we'll talk about those 5 supplements which I just told you in the beginning. Now micronutrients means your vitamins and minerals. So the intake of your micronutrients should always be adequate. Means you should not be taking excessive and it should not be inadequate. And your status should always be adequacy. If you move away from this status of adequacy to up or down, it will have a negative consequences on the health of athlete. So be cautious in taking these all micronutrient supplements. Now here is the scientific evidence which shows that why you should not move away from the adequacy status or adequate intake of micronutrients. You can see here it's very clearly shown. If the intake of micronutrients, when I say micronutrient means all the vitamins and minerals, okay? If the intake is low, you can see your performance is poor, right? And if your intake is high, high intake also lead to poor performance. So it means your status should always be adequate. If your status is adequate for all these vitamins and minerals, your athlete will give optimum performance. Otherwise, high and low intake both will not at all help. So taking just these supplements without knowing whether you are deficient in magnesium, whether you are deficient in calcium, or whether you need a vitamin C or vitamin D, you just athletes are taking it because your fellow athletes are taking, it does not going to help you in improving your performance. So this is very important. Further, if I want to further drill on it, that how these micronutrients can improve or can have effect on the physical performance. You see, if the intake is low, uh, I mean, if there is a reduced nutrition status in your athlete, now this reduced nutrition status can be either because of the low intake, means there is a poor diet by your athlete, or because of the increased losses that is due to vigorous and high intensity training. So both of these can lead to reduced nutrition status in your athlete, and because of that there can be a subclinical deficiency of, for example, riboflavin, subclinical deficiency of iron, magnesium and zinc. And because of this, what will happen? There will be a decrease in the endurance, there will be decrease in the time to the fatigue, okay? There will be decreased work efficiency and increased ventilation, and increased heart rate, which again, if the heart rate increases, especially your resting heart rate, it's going to affect your performance, decrease in work capacity and decrease in strength. And because of all these, physical parameters, there will be a decrease in your training efficiency, right? And increase in your time to recover. So your athlete will recover, it will take long time to recover. And that's why you might have observed, if you are coaching, you are involved in coaching, sometimes I found coaches saying, oh, we are giving enough training, my athlete is training so hard, but he is not improving the performance, because you are not taking care of his nutritional requirements. And because of that, athlete is taking more time to recover, and next day when he come, he perform. Of course, he's doing your training, he's performing, but his there is no improvement in his performance because of he is constantly in a stage of tiredness or fatigue, and which leads to the decrease in performance. So nutritional, although it's maybe the 10%, like if you look at the overall, maybe the just 10%, very small percentage of nutrition when you look at the to make a champion athlete, but this is inevitable. The nutrition element is inevitable, and if you don't take care about the nutrition, athlete performance will go down, irrespective of how much trained he is, how much skill he has, and how much qualified the coach is. Now again, this is an important slide, because I will not go in detail, it will take a lot of time otherwise, but this shows that how these micronutrients, especially vitamins and minerals, are important in improving physical performance, especially like vitamin like thiamine, riboflavin, niacin, B6. They all are needed for the metabolism of carbohydrate into energy for the muscle work. So they are very important. And then iron, copper, B6 and B12. B12 also, many of us are deficient in B12. They are required for the RBC formation and oxygen transport to the muscle cells. And the zinc. There's a lot of research has been done even during my postgraduate diploma. I had undertaken some of these assignments especially on zinc, and a lot of research is happening on zinc, although it's not very conclusive till now. But zinc helps in removal of carbon dioxide from the working muscle, and therefore it helps in recycling of lactate to the glucose. So we have to recycle that lactate which deposit because of the high intensity exercise into glucose. So that's how these microvitamins play an important role in improving physical performance. Now come to the why I said micronutrient, because actually they are not supplements, but we often use all these micronutrients. We take multivitamin tablets by our athletes. So that's why I thought it is important to give you 5 minutes, 10 minutes on the microvitamins. uh, micronutrients. Okay. Now let's come to the supplements. The first question, as I said, as I was talking in the in the first slide, first question what you have to ask to yourself if you are an athlete or if you are a coach, that is it safe? Is it permitted in sport? Of course, it's very, very important, right? And is there evidence that it works? So evidence has to be there, and evidence means not just by the mouth of words. Many times we follow the supplements because someone else is taking. Okay, and we have to remember that no supplement is 100% safe to use. So there's always a risk of element in use of these supplements. So like these are the 5 supplements. I don't want to just, like, this is like a summary of how, these supplements, and these are all, by the way, all these supplements, caffeine, creatine, nitrate, beta-alanine and bicarbonate, they are all, approved by the International Olympic Committee Medical Commission. So they are like officially, like, recommended for athletes to use, and there is enough scientific evidence available which shows that they improve performance. Of course, there are many more, but we don't discuss as if there is no evidence, there is no point recommending, from the official point of view. Now, all these supplements, whatever supplements we use in the sports, they can be grouped into 4 categories: category A, B, C, and D. Now, in category A, where we'll talk, let's come to the straight to the category A. Category A is the category where the evidence, is strong. If there is strong evidence which proof that there is that using of these supplements will improve performance, they fall under group A, and they are permitted. Again, as I said in the beginning, there may be scientific evidence, but they should be permitted for use by, our federations in the sports, right? So these fall in group A. And again, in this category, there are three broad categories. The first is sports foods, like sports drinks, sports gels, sports confectionery, bars, electrolyte, isolated proteins, and so on. And the next ones are the medical supplements like iron, calcium, multivitamin, which I just discussed their benefits. Then probiotics are there. Then vitamin D is there, vitamin D3 especially, and then zinc. And then performance supplements are like caffeine, beta-alanine. For the zinc, by the way, is important because if the zinc is in a sufficient, importance comes like when there is a deficiency. That's how we say, they are important. So if there is a subclinical deficiency, and even before subclinical deficiency also, they can affect the performance in a negative way. Okay, then caffeine, beta-alanine, nitrate, glycerol, creatine, and sodium bicarbonate. These are the 6 which falls in performance supplements category. Okay. Then group B, it means where there is emerging scientific support, means the research is going on and it needs further research and it is being used. Like, for example, we take a sample, we take a group of athletes and we do research on that. So these are like considered as group B. In any group B, there are like food polyphenols, which you get it from berries, apples, onions, teas, and coffee. And then there are antioxidants. You know about antioxidants, okay? So, and then vitamin C. So these are again used by athletes where there is emerging scientific support, but not like, fully. And again, like menthol, quinine, and transient receptors. Then for others, we have collagen support, like I said in my that slide, carnitine is there, keto supplements are there, and fish oils are there. So all this comes under, this category. Then group C is where there is a lot of like, myths and misconceptions are there. Because in this group C category, scientific evidence is not supportive of benefit among athletes, or no proper research is undertaken to guide an informed option. Okay, so that's why these are not advocated for use by athletes, under supplement programs by the federations, and the medical commissions of different bodies. Like for example, magnesium, and we all know about BCA and leucine. Of course, it's a good source. It's a essential, amino acid which you need. We take in isolated form, but does it improve performance? That's a different question. So, and then vitamin E, triosine, HMB, prebiotics, not prebiotics, and phosphate, and all those things. And then, of course, the group D is which are banned. So, they are high risk. There is a lot of contamination in these, So that's why we will not discuss them at all in case. Now let's come to the caffeine. First we'll talk about caffeine, okay? And caffeine is very popular in Kerala, right? I'm sure. And I'm also very much familiar with Kerala. I have so many friends from Kerala. I'm working in Gulf, and so of course, otherwise also not caffeine. I mean to say coffee. Coffee is otherwise very popular drink all over the world, right? And we get caffeine from the coffee. Okay, so caffeine is a stimulant. We all know it's a natural stimulant which is found in the leaves and beans of the fruit for variety of plants. And it is probably the most well-researched supplement and has been shown to improve performance across wide range of sports. Actually, I forgot to add one slide which usually I always show in the beginning of my presentation. Usually talk about Eliud Kipchoge. I'm sure many of you know about Eliud Kipchoge. He is the only athlete on the earth who has run full marathon, 42 kilometers in less than 2 hours. And when the expert analyzed his performance, like what are the factors responsible for him to make run below 2 hours, of course he did not run the under 2 hours in a standard marathon. I mean, not in a London, New York, or Boston or Berlin or these major marathons, but he ran in Vienna in 2019. I'm sure in 2019 in November he ran that marathon as a part of the project. So it was by one of the the company, they sponsored that project. Means they had the scientific support for athlete. They put a laser beam right in front, like 5 meters in front of him, which set his pace. There is a V shape the athletes who like pacemakers who make the wind block the wind and making him run. He get the nutrition support on the way. He don't have to like go to the side which you waste time. So like there are certain things which make him, but it was not like it's a part of the project, not a standard marathon. But when we analyze his performance, I'm talking about only 2 points. He has taken caffeine. He has taken a good use of caffeine before the start of the race, and also the carbohydrates. So I am saying because also nitrate. So he used both the supplements, nitrate and caffeine, following a standard protocol before going to the marathon, and he was able to achieve, along with of course other aspects. There are other biomechanical aspects there, technology is there, his own skill is there, physiology is there. But other than that, caffeine and nitrate has played an important role him in running sub 2 hours. Okay, so what are the benefits of caffeine? Of course, it alerts your nervous system, it reduces the perception of effort, reduce the pain, and improve your performance. So when should you consider using the caffeine in sports? So you can use caffeine, or in simple word we can say coffee, okay, in the endurance sports which last more than 60 minutes. You can use it in the team and intermittent sports like in football, or you can use in judo, wrestling, all these also. And you can also use as a pre-training energy boost if you are carrying fatigue into your sessions. For example, if your athlete is very tired, so he can take 90 minutes before he can take a dose of a caffeine, and this will help helping him in performing his training sessions effectively. And also it can be used in brief sustained high intensity sports which last for 1 to 16 minutes. Means you see it has a dual benefit. It can be used in a marathon in 42-kilometer race, and it can also be used in 400-meter run. Means high intensity sports lasting for 1 to 16 minutes. And also in the single efforts involving strength or power, like if you want to lift, like as a clean and jerk, or strength events also when you are lifting the weight, there also it has proven benefits. Okay, so individual performance improvement with caffeine varies. This is again, that's a catch here. Everybody does not get the same benefit. So some don't respond, others may have negative effects also. So you have to always consider the individual differences with your athlete. If you have a 10 athletes training with you, you cannot say every 10 athlete will go with the caffeine and with the same amount of dose. So first you have to test all these supplements in your training sessions, and then you go for with the long-term approach. So what are the guidelines for the caffeine intake? So many caffeine protocols can achieve the same optimum performance outcome. Okay, start with the lowest efficient dose. I mean, even if you recommended is a 3 milligrams per kg of your body weight. So if you are 70 kilo, you need 210 milligram of caffeine. But you can get the benefit, as low as with, say 100, milligram of caffeine also. So start with a lowest efficient dose of 1.5 milligram per kg of your body mass up to, or you can say like 100 gram. Even if you take 100 gram of caffeine, 100 milligrams or a milligram of caffeine, you can still get some benefit. So, but if you take the higher dose, you should not be going more than 3 milligram, because this dose is likely to induce, even with this dose, when you take 3 milligram, if you take higher, of course there will be gastrointestinal discomfort. But even with 3 milligram, there can be some side effects such as overstimulation, there can be anxiety, there can be interference with the fine motor control that was not seen earlier in research using larger caffeine doses. So you have to be careful. That's why I said, if you are using the 3 mg dose, you have to first practice in your training, and make sure that if the athlete can tolerate it, then you can start giving him this dose. Now, when do I use it? You can use it before the exercise. You can use it throughout the exercise. I mean, if you have a training session which lasts for, say, for 3 hours, then you can use it throughout the exercise also. And if you're running a full marathon, you can use it during the, like what I am usually doing when I run my full marathons. I take, caffeine, of course, not caffeine in isolated form, but along with the carbohydrate, I take caffeine. And also late in exercise as fatigue develops. Okay, so caffeine supplements can be administered as, you can take capsules, you can take coffee, you can take gels, you can take bars. It comes in different forms. So it's not a question like which is better. There is no question. The question does not arise the capsule is better or the gels are better, but it all depends upon individuals. Some of you like bars, some of you prefer taking gels, some of you prefer taking liquid like as a coffee. It all depends upon how your how your intestine respond to the digestion of these this supplement. So it's basically differs with individual to individual. Of course, always there's a food first philosophy. Whenever we recommend any supplement, either you can take in the form of a pill, or you can get this caffeine from various food which is available. You can get it from the from the chocolate. You can see I put some content what you get from these. You can get it from brewed coffee. Like 250 ml of brewed coffee can give you around 80 to 280 mg of caffeine. Now you may ask question, why 80 to 280? It again depends upon what type of coffee you are using, so it all differs. So that's why you have to practice everything in your training. You should know, okay, this is the coffee I am using at my home, and when I'm using this coffee, this is like this much milligram of coffee caffeine I get from a particular content what you are drinking. So you have to practice all those things. So it's always better to take like as I said, as like no dose is always like you can get exact amount. Okay, one tablet means 100 mg of caffeine, but otherwise in other homemade recipes, you are not very sure about the content of the caffeine. This is in nutshell, like a summary of what we discuss about caffeine. So this can help you. You can take a screenshot, and not screenshot. You can take a picture of it. It will help you to understand the dose, the protocols, and the potential side effects which some people can have. Okay, so now let's move to the next, which is a sodium bicarbonate, which is very popular in all our houses. Is known as a baking soda. Is a white fine alkaline powder. Okay, and supplementation with sodium bicarbonate can increase the body's blood bicarbonate levels safely and helps soak up the buildup of acids like the lactic acids produced during the prolonged high intensity exercise. It's a very simple science. I mean, it's not something very difficult to understand why the sodium bicarbonate works, and it reduces fatigue and improving the performance. So this is what you can see in supermarkets and all. I am taken it from the European market. Of course, India also there are different brands. Okay, the benefits of supplementation is that it buffers the acids in the blood that cause fatigue. Okay, so it reduces the lactic acid buildup. So this is the main, and we all know, all the sports science graduates, we were born, brought up by studying this word, very common, lactic acid, right? So it reduces the lactic acid buildup, and that's what you want, when you are training and when you are competing. So it improves your metabolic function of a muscle, and also that's why it improves your performance. So when should you consider its use? You can use it again in high intensity events like 1 to 7 minutes. Like for example, of course you can use in, as I'm saying, judo, wrestling, or all these, martial art games or bouts, you know, or very lactic, or maybe like as I said, 400-meter race. If you are an athlete, 800-meter race, you can use, even up to, it can go up to 1500-meter race also. Where lactic acid accumulation begins to cause fatigue, and also like rowing, swimming, middle distance running. And in the sports involving prolonged, repeated high-intensity bouts, like team sports, racket sports, like in badminton also it can be used, combat sports. High-intensity events up to an hour, where a surge or sprint to the finish may be required to determine the winner. So here is again, you can use it even like 10-kilometer race, because at the end, usually in the last 400-meter, last 1 kilometer, you may have to sprint where the lactic acid will deposit. So again, it will, help, in that case also. And it can be used to enhance your training capacity and training adaptations. Okay. So how to use it? This is very important. Now you have to, let me use, so there are two protocols, one is the, acute loading protocol. Okay. So what you can do is, this is being done, around 120 to 150 minutes before the exercise. So almost like 3 hours, before the exercise, 2 to 3 hours you can take. So you can take like 200 to 400 milligram of sodium bicarbonate per kg of your body mass, and it has to be combined with, this is important, it has to be combined with 10 milliliter of water per kg of your body mass, and plus small carbohydrate rich meal, like around 1.5 grams of carbohydrate per kg of your body mass. So if you calculate all those things roughly for a 70 kg athlete, then it comes to like 21 grams of baking soda, okay, and 700 ml of water, and 100 grams of carbohydrate. And you can get this 100 gram of carbohydrate, you can get it from like, bread slice, you can get from porridge, is very common, use porridge and milk, and then you can get from the some banana shake, and of course the banana is also equally good on pastas you can take. So you can take this, all gives you 100 grams of carbohydrate. So along with this food, just mix, 21 grams of sodium bicarbonate in 700 ml of water, and consume all this together around 2 to 3 hours before exercise, and you will get definitely, very astonishing results. So to minimize the side effects, what you have to do is, and that was what I discussed, that was an acute loading protocol, okay, like, and we'll talk about again the chronic also here. So you should like take it 2.5 hours before, as I said, and you should consume those slowly. It's not that you take the 700 ml mix and in one shot. No, it's not in one shot. You have to take it slowly over 30 to 60 minutes, so that you can prevent the diarrhea. Drink, and of course that's why we recommend also the fluid along with this, like 100 ml of fluid, 10 ml per kg of your body weight, and consume with carbs. So this is important. What we discuss is to minimize the side effects. Then for the chronic loading protocol, you can use a higher daily bicarbonate dose, like 500 milligram of bicarbonate per kg of your body mass, up to at least 5 days before event. And this should be like, like 100 milligram per kg body mass, and then split into 5 even doses every day, like in a day, 3 meals and 2 snacks for several days prior and including day of the event. So you can split, like if you're taking this 500 mg, it should not be taken straight as a 500, you should take 100 into 5 times. So this is a chronicle loading protocol. I'm sure you have taken pictures of this if you are not aware about it. And this is again a good for you to understand what we discuss everything in one slide. You will get the dose here, you will get the protocol here. Also, you will get information about when and how to take. So I'll move to the next one, which is beta-alanine. So beta-alanine is again, it has the same purpose almost which what the sodium bicarbonate has. Okay, it basically increases the muscle carnosine levels in your muscle, which boosts the muscle buffering and again delay the fatigue and improving performance. So this is also available in tablets and capsules in different forms. The benefits are intracellular buffering, capacity. Again, it removes the acids, from your muscles. So that's how again it is important. So it is a fatigue resistance and improve performance. So beta-alanine supplementation is required multiple times a day for at least 4 weeks to achieve a meaningful increase in muscle carnosine levels. So if you want to do that, you have to go for at least 4 weeks before your competition. Okay. So when you can use it like in a short duration exercise, like 30 seconds to 10 minutes of sustained high intensity sports. It can be even used for like close to 200-meter races also. There is no harm in that also. In the weeks preceding period of training where training intensity is prioritized and sports that involve repeated high intensity efforts, for example, resistance training, team sports, racket sports and all. So how to use it? The loading phase, again, for every supplement there is a acute phase and there is a maintenance or the chronic phase. So here you can use 3.2 gram of beta-alanine, per day for minimum of 8 weeks, okay? Or you can go with a 6.4 gram for 4 weeks. So if it depends upon how or and when you are starting. And for the maintenance dose, you can take thereafter, like after 4 weeks, then you can take 1.2 gram of beta-alanine every day, until the end of start of your competition. So this should be consumed in a divided dose at main meals to further enhance uptake and better manage your tingles. Okay. Again, the response between the individuals, as I said, can vary significantly. It's not necessary if I get benefits, your next other athlete also will get the same benefits. So you have to always, check, these things during your training and see how your training status is altered by this. Again, the food first policy can be applied in this case. Sodium bicarbonate you don't get, from the food, but here you should food first principles apply to all supplements. Although we know that carnosine is found in the red meat, chicken, fish, but not everybody is a vegetarian and we may have allergies to certain things. So diet alone is not enough to increase muscle carnosine levels to required for performance benefit. So this is a loading plan which already I told you, 3 to 4 even doses with the meals. You can take with the breakfast, you can take with a snack, you can take with lunch, you can take with a dinner. Okay, this is the plan, for beta-alanine. Next, I'll be coming to the beetroot, that is nitrates. So beetroot juice is a very rich source of dietary nitrates, and this is one of my favorite. As I don't know if my introduction it is being said, but I'm a marathon runner. I have run London Marathon, New York Marathon, of course not as a professional, as an amateur, but I have run almost 10 full marathons until now. So beetroots and caffeine are one of my favorites, and I use them very often, during my training plans also, and of course before a marathon. Okay, so it can be used. You can simply use normal beetroot buy it from vegetable market and make the juice at your home, or you can use this commercially available product, which is like beet IT Sport. It is very means the only point, of course, it is costly, but the only benefit is that you know how much exactly you are consuming. That's the only benefit of these sports foods and all. If I compare it with what you do in your home, okay. So benefits are it is a vasodilator, so it increases the oxygen to the muscles and lowers your blood pressure. So otherwise also it is healthy, other than the sports performance point of view. It increases the exercise capacity, so it will reduces your energy cost for the exercise, okay. And the muscle contraction and performance is also improve because of the nitrate. And of course, I'm sure during the COVID-19 you must have heard about the nitrates, because it helps in developing the immunity of your body. So when should you, when You can use it during a prolonged submaximal exercise. For example, if you are training for 4 to 30, 4 hours, 4 to 30 minutes, and beyond that also it can be used. So high intensity intermittent events with short sprint duration to support hypoxic condition. Say high altitude, you're going to Himalayas, or if you're going to high altitude, in your region, then you can train. You can use consider nitrate. How you can use? Again, there is an acute dose. Acute dose is taken 2 to 3 hours before the exercise, up to like you can take up to 350 to 600 mg of nitrate. Okay. And for the chronic supplementation, this is acute means this is just before the competition. For example, if you have a competition at 7 a.m. in the morning, take this nitrate supplementation around 4 a.m. in morning, okay, between 4 to 5. And the chronic will last, you can take chronic supplementation from 3 to 15 days. For 3 days, you can take 350 to 600 mg nitrate per day plus pre-event, including the uh, pre-event, again 300 to 600 mg per day. Okay. So avoid using the mouthwash. This is important. When you have used a nitrate, so don't use the mouthwash or chewing gum with beetroot juice, as they interfere with this benefit. Okay. And again, you can get the this nitrate. You can, as I said, the most important is the beetroot, but you can also get, from other sources which often are not easily accessible to our athletes. But if you can get from these also. But I always prefer beetroot, or you can make a juice like this, and you can, if you want for the taste, you can add some orange and carrot into it, and it is perfect, for to start for the training and also competition. Next one is a creatine. Creatine is basically helps to increase your muscle mass. That's how the creatine, and also when we say creatine, it's a creatine monohydrate. We have to use only creatine monohydrate, which is the only one is recommended. So you can get creatine monohydrate. It is like a white powder, okay, and it also comes in other forms, okay. The benefits are it increases your muscle strength and muscle endurance, also the muscle size. It improves your maximum exercise performance, helps in recovery, and also good for your brain health. Now, when you should use it, again, you can use in the high intensity single max efforts, like less than 30 seconds. In the sprints, resistance training, you can use, in all these types of activities. Also, it can also benefit, in team sports or racket sports. There is a repeated burst of high intensity efforts are required. Like, for example, if you are a forward in football, you're playing football, then it will help you certainly. Now you can use it in the loading phase. You can take 5 grams of creatine 4 times in a day. You can take it for 5 days, okay? Or you can take 0.3 grams of creatine per kg of body mass for 5 days, like, and divide it into 3 on 4 doses. That means if you want to go with your body weight. And for the maintenance phase, you can take like around 3 to 5 grams of creatine, just a single dose. It means first you start for the first 5 days, you do it, you take it for 4 times in a day, and after 5 days, then you switch it to just one single dose. Okay. Again, you can take creatine along with these foods. So you can co-ingest with the post-exercise recovery ideas, providing protein plus carb. So you can take like along with some milk. You can take with the salad and chicken, everything.
Hello.
Badminton champion, and she was taking some supplements, and she had some menstrual problems because of the supplements and all those things. And then somehow her performance is not improving. And I consulted her, for almost 3 months. She come to me, before she joined the Prakash Padukone's academy. Then I asked her to stop all and all meat-based products because she was having a problem, acne problem, menstrual disturbances, and all those things. As with many supplements, it happens, right? So I just switched her to the totally plant-based, diet, giving enough protein through plant-based sources, and also I tried with her the tart cherry juice. And in 3 months, all those problems which she was facing, they just disappear, and she was feeling well, she was recovering well. And then after that, so I mean, I also have a personal, experience of using the tart cherry juice with one of the elite, and this works. So, but there's more studies are required further before it is being recommended officially by these sports bodies. You can take a picture of this and you will get more information. I will not go detail into it. I just want to finish in next 10 minutes with our sports bars, sports gels, sports confectionaries, and other things quickly. Basically, these sports bars, sports gels, and all these different forms. So they appear in different forms. You can take it in the form of like a solid. You can take it in the form of a liquid. Take it in the form of a gel. The benefits are relatively same, except the convenience of athletes. Some athletes they feel it more convenient when they take in a solid form. Some athletes take it in liquid form. Some take in the gel form. It's how their intestine respond to this. So basically, effects are almost same. So these all these sports foods basically they can be used, like as a pre-event fueling when regular food or drink is not tolerated. Like for example, if you want to take 60 minutes before, 70 minutes before carbohydrate, what will you take? You can't take some solid food or regular food. You can't take pasta or rice, right? So then at that time, these sports foods become very handy because they are convenient and compact for a fuel, for use and around exercise and post-exercise refueling, particularly for athletes with high energy needs. Sometimes your energy requirements are so high that after exercise, within 45 minutes, take shower and take rice and all those things. It's difficult. When you are in a very high intensity training, it's difficult for an athlete to eat also. So then these sports foods they become very handy, especially for those athletes who need around 4 to 5,000 calories, every day, And the gut training with a mix of carbohydrate-rich foods and sports foods can enhance the glucose uptake. And you have to train your gut, as I said, like you train your muscles, you train for the skills, during your training. The same way you have to train your gut to tolerate, these sports foods and supplements during the training session. So it is very important. I just give you an example. I just ran, one of half marathon 2 weeks before, and one of my friend, of course, he's a beginner type. He like not from a sports background. So he ran, and his son gave him some, these sports gels, from the US. He came. He didn't even consult me, and he was running with me half marathon. After 15 kilometers, he take those gels and he just vomit. So I mean, you just can't take any of these directly in the competition. You have to first try them in your training and understand how they respond to you. Is it tolerable by you or not? So these things are very, very important. Now this is the carbohydrate intake guidelines. For first 45 minutes, you don't need anything. I see sometimes some athletes, some people who are walking and running, they're just taking a water in their hand, all those things, eating something, less than 45, you don't need anything. Once you cross 45 minutes, then even mouthwash or just, with any carbohydrate drink can help. So the small amounts of carbohydrate, even if it's swallowed or even frequent mouth sensing with a significant duration of mouth contact can help, in improving performance. So you can use gels, sports drinks, bars and chews for first 45 to 75 minutes. For endurance, like for exercise more than 1 to 2.5 hours, you can take around 30 to 60 grams of carbohydrate. So I mean, you can take 30 grams per hour, or you can take 60 grams. 60 grams means like 15 grams carbs every 15 minutes. So you can take, and if ultra endurance, you can take up to 90 grams per hour. So this should be the intake of carbohydrate through these sports foods every hour. Every hour means you will not take just every hour. You have to split it into either 3 parts or 4 parts at equal duration at every 15 minutes or every 20 minutes. And of course, you can get like there are some sources. I think it's. I will go quickly from here. Like from one banana, you can get 30 grams of carbohydrate. Large banana, if it is smaller, medium, you can reduce the. So likewise, it's just an a reference. Then sports days, as I said, the sports days also they have the same benefits, same use. Only difference is the convenience. Difference that they are convenient, they are lightweight, and they can be easily accessed during the exercise. You can just hold it in your hand. You can slip it in your shorts pocket, and easy to use. And once finished, you can throw it. So it is easy to use. Okay. And the sports drinks, of course, the sports drinks are very important because now the gels and the sports bars and food, they will not hydrate you, right? They will give you the carbs, but sports drinks will help you in hydration. Plus, they can also be used as a supplementing you the carbohydrates. So they can prove double benefits. But again, the problem is sports drinks you cannot carry when you're running a marathon, right? So you need stations, and again, in different forms. So there is again a challenge of using these sports drinks during the competition. But these are required, when the additional fuel supply is required. Otherwise, you can take a normal water from the water stations, during the marathon. Okay. And then there are sports confectionaries like these toffees and all. So these are also very small. They are like very easy to keep handy, and just put in your mouth, and after few minutes it will vanish, right? And it will give you a significant amount of carbohydrates. So they are very easy to use. The point is they are very convenient and easy to use. Then now this is important. I want to take some time here, 5 minutes on glycerol. Now glycerol is very important because the most important part for the long distance exercises or even during the training also is hydration. Most of the times we get cramps and hydration is not enough, and just taking a simple water, if I just drink the simple water like this, I may be thinking, okay, that I have taken 100 ml of water, but it's not 100 ml. When it comes to hydrating your body is not using the exact 100 ml of water. So the plain water does not solve the purpose. So we'll come to this, and we'll show you with some examples. So glycerol, the benefit is that it delay, reduce or prevent dehydration. So which is very, very significant. It reduces the effects of increased core body temperature, heat and strain. Believe me, hydration is the first and most important part in any training, any competition. I don't want to again waste, but I want to give you an example of one Italian athlete, Lazzaro, in Sweden, or the marathon in Sweden in 1919 Olympics, I guess. He put all like wax on his body, like in his mind, okay, I want to prevent the wind and this and all those things. And by this, he stopped the sweating mechanism, and that's the only history we have. After 30 kilometers, he collapsed and he died. So that's why the hydration, is very, very important. So you can see here in this, I will not read and everything. So I will just tell you first how much you should consume before exercise. Take 1 to 1.2 grams of glycerol per kg of your body mass, along with 25 ml of fluid per kg of your body mass. Again, if you are 70 kilo, combined 77 gram of glycerol with 750 ml of fluid. Now here, what you see here, you can see, if you just drink a plain water, using the water, you want to hydrate yourself, only 5% of the water is absorbed. And I always face problem. I drink water, and sometimes in marathon, you can't drink too much. If you drink, the water will dance in your stomach, but it's not giving you any benefit. But if you use the same water with the glycerol, you can see 39% of the water which you have drink will be absorbed. Okay, and again, if you use the same with the sodium, along with the sodium, it is 60% is absorbed, and if you combine glycerol and sodium together, 77% water will be absorbed compared to the plain one. So that's why the glycerol and the sodium is very, very important in your hydration plan.
Okay, so post exercise rehydration, how you rehydrate yourself. So how do you know how much water you should drink after the exercise? The simple rule is, first of all, you check your pre-body weight and check your post-exercise body weight. So assume 1 kg means 1 liter. So step 2 is calculate the volume to drink. So 1.5 into fluid loss. So means 1.5 liter of water according to the amount of body weight you lose. So you have to, like, drink 1.5 liter every 1 kg of fluid lost. So if you lose 2 kg of weight after exercise, if you lose 2 kg of your body weight, you should take 3 liters of water post exercise, and that is over 2 to 4 hours after exercise, not just immediately same time. Within next 2 to 4 hours you must take, and you can take it along with the glycerol. You can add 1 gram of glycerol per kg of body mass to every 1.5 liter of fluid lost. So this should be the, your plan for post exercise rehydration. And then comes electrolytes. We know the electrolytes is very common, very popular. You can get from all the pharmacies. Electrolytes can also be used, to rehydrate yourself and to replace lost vitamins, and minerals. And already we discussed post-exercise rehydration plan. It is also the same thing what we have discussed, except there is no addition of glycerol here. And then there are some isolated proteins like whey protein, casein, egg. So if, for example, if you see in animal protein, you can get all this whey, casein, and egg protein, but in the plant protein you don't get except the soya and other plant protein. So there are again costs like leucine. When we talk about this BCA, branch chain amino acids, or the leucine, leucine content is very high, in whey protein, in casein, in egg protein, but not in the soya protein. That's why, people take, this BCA, branch chain amino acids. But again, the cost is very important, how much you are paying for these things. And then there are mixed macronutrients. Mixed means it is a combination of both carbohydrate and protein. So when you should take this mixed macronutrients, you should take it when most of the athletes meet their protein requirements quite easily with the food, but these supplements can be useful in case of a pre-event snack if you experience nervousness that impacts your appetite, like especially using the after also and before also. And if you need to eat close to exercise, then you can take this, like morning hours, you wake up and you can't eat something, so take this one. During the prolonged exercise, like in ultra endurance and every hour for over many hours, for post exercise recovery plan also you can take these mixed macronutrients. So these are like some of the ways you can improve the energy requirement in long distance exercise, competition and training. And you can choose, like, you can see here how to choose a suitable supplement. So it depends upon, like, so there are many. You can take a convenient snack when food is not available. So you can see in different types of, these supplements, different amount of carbohydrate is different, amount of protein may be different, and how you use them. Some are solids, some are liquid form, some are gel form. So it's all depends upon your requirement. You can use this table to choose which one is best suitable for you. Since I'm short of a time, I would like to just finish very quickly now within few seconds. Or you can also replace, as I said, the food first policy is what we all recommend always. You can replace the meal, this, for example, swap this for the flavored milk, and high carbohydrate bar. If you want, you can swap it for the
Hello.
apple, for example. High protein and low energy powder bar, you can swap for this, but again, you can swap for the banana. So you can take this, natural food, but again the question is depends upon many factors. How's your appetite, how's your stomach is responding, how much time is available to you, what are the cost factors. So you have to do all those analysis within your training with your athlete, and the athlete also should understand what is best suitable for them, keeping in view all the aspects, including the cost also. But at the same time, I will again, repeat, using these food supplements like bars, powders, gels, all those things, the only benefit is that you know exact how much amount of carbohydrate or protein you are taking, which is again a very, very important. So sometimes it overrides the cost factor. Even if it is costly, I will prefer to take this because I am knowing I am taking 60 grams of carbs. But when I take one banana, I am still not sure about how much carbs I'm taking, depending upon the size and depending upon the digestibility of my digestive system. Okay. So with this, I would like to just conclude with my presentation. I hope I finish in 1 hour. Thank you for giving me a patient sharing. Although it was a fast-paced lecture, I should have gone slow, but because of the lack of time, and I want to deliver a little more information for your benefit. Thank you so much for listening. If you have any questions, you can contact me on my email, and you can also WhatsApp me on my email ID. Thank you so much. Over to the organizers.
Thank you,
Thank
sir,
you, sir,
for
for
your
your
insightful
insightful
answers. If
answers. If
anyone is
anyone is
asking any
asking any
questions,
questions,
yes, now if anyone of you have doubts or queries, please you can come forward near to the laptop and ask. Any doubts or queries? Yes, please.
Sir, good evening, sir. Sir, can you? Is it audible? Sir, is it audible, sir? Sir? Hello, sir. Good evening, sir. Hello, sir.
Hello, sir.
Sir, is that audible? Sir, my concern is, sir, we judo players in Kerala used to take carbon carbonated caffeine just before competition. So some players says that it was good, and I got results from them. But some says it is irritated and uncomfortable. So my concern is, what's your point of view on this?
It, but like taking a carbonated caffeine, like for example the Red Bull, I would say no. I think it's a lot of echo.
Hello.
Yeah, so you should not go with the carbonated caffeine. Ask your judo player to take the normal, the caffeine from the normal source. Like ask them to take the coffee. Okay, for example, if they are not convenient, they are not able to digest, or they get irritated. You said they are not happy with that, so they can take caffeine in the form of a normal coffee, or in the form of a pills, or in the form of there's a caffeine dose comes, but don't take as a carbonated caffeine. I'm sure carbonated means they must be taking Red Bull or other things. Even in this cold drinks and Pepsi, also some caffeines are there. So carbonated caffeine is not really, sometimes not beneficial to athletes, all athletes.
Citrate.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. You see, I know, even I heard about that. So there are certain things which, if you ask me at this platform, or if I am also a coach, I will say no, certainly. because this is not what we recommend. Officially it is not recommended to take in the form of an injection. And as I said, it has to be administered at least 90 minutes before your competition. So if those, I don't know, when athletes say that they see improvement in performance. Now, how do you know that there is an improvement in performance because of that injection? How do we know that? So it could be other reasons. So certainly I'm not supporting that. I'm not encouraging this form of taking caffeine. So this is what is recommended by the International Olympic Committee. Medical Commission is taking caffeine as we suggested. Other forms many athletes are taking. I know these practices is being happening, but these are not recommended, and there is no scientific evidence that the performance what the athletes are claiming by themselves that improve their performance because of the injection. And I don't see any reason to take it immediately before the competition in the form of an injection. There's no reason. I mean, why you have to prick, take it, through intravenous form when you can take it orally, conveniently, and there is a proven benefit. So that's the first answer to your first question. Second, I'm sure what you are asking is there any drink available in market? I don't know the name, but certainly you can find, or I can suggest later on if you send me an email or my WhatsApp message. I can suggest you a commercial drink available which contains both sodium and glycerol. I'm sure you are asking that question, so I cannot at present, recommend a commercial name for the drink, but it is available. Otherwise, because I'm sure you are asking it for the convenience use of, so that you can use it conveniently, right? But the amount is so big. You see, when you take, as I recommended, you have to take at least 1700 ml, almost 2 liters of water you need, to drink, like 3 to 4 hours before the competition. So you can easily make it, at the home using the glycerol and sodium. So buying a 2 liter of water from outside, I mean, you buy something which, like, if I have to run a marathon, I want to carry something in my pocket. It makes sense. And if I want to use a nitrate, for example, beetroot, when talking about, I cannot exactly find the content, in the beetroot, normal beetroot juice. So I'll buy it a commercial one. But for the glycerol thing, I think it can be easily done at the home. But still, I will communicate with you, the commercial form which is available for this. Thank you for your question.
Hello.
my luggage. So I tried my level best, but it was not allowing me to do so by exercise, means of exercise. I used to get severe cramp, muscle cramp, especially calf and thighs. So I was trying my level best to find out what is the reason. Usually they say sodium deficiency. I tried twice, thrice, 4 times, 5 times. No, it was perfectly all right. Potassium, perfectly all right. All kinds of things I have tried. But for the kind information of all those who are sitting here, and you may be knowing it, finally I came to the conclusion from a close friend of my doctor. So I said, sir, I have tried all my level best to find out what is the reason for this. तो बोला अरे सर ये तो कुछ नहीं है. You just go and make a angiography of your legs. I said angiography of my legs. It is usually done for the heart. मेरे हार्ट क्या नीचे पहुंच गया. So he was telling it is quite possible. It is all 100% sure you are having the blockage in the arteries of the limbs, legs. My God. So he was in Apollo, Delhi, then transferred to Gwalior, and from there now he is in Wayanad. Sir, kuch nahi hai. You come to one year before. You come to MIMS or NISIMS in Wayanad. I'll get you all right. I said, यार त्रिवेंद्रम से वायनाड सर आपको ये क्रैम्प लेके घूमना है या नहीं you want to get rid of that I said definitely so I said if you can suggest somebody in Trivandrum I was working in Trivandrum LNCP then my friends uh, Tomar I was sent to this place the hospital one cardiologist his classmate and he was I had to go undergo the angiography my god you are saying ye dekho block pura traffic block I said what is this yeah sir we have to go for angioplasty immediately my god I thought angiography and angioplasty are ek sath ek free hai you can we can do that and my dear friends I did it and one leg right leg was fully blocked and left leg also and Rakesh he did it and बोले एक साथ एक free है लेकिन एक होने दो then we will see later the other one and very recently I had to go through the second leg also now I think I am okay so I don't know whether you know this complication also is available
Yes, sir. This is you raise a very important topic I want to discuss, but since it was supplement, sir, I want to share with you when I was doing my PG diploma from IOC sports nutrition. This was one of my assignments on muscle cramps, like my 6 month assignment. So I have to work very hard on this muscle cramp, and when I was doing research on it, I found what exactly you are saying. There is no clear etiology of why the muscle cramp happens. Now, if most of us feel it is because of the lack of sodium, potassium, and because of the dehydration. That is the most common. We understand. Oh, this is a muscle cramp. But then my professor, those renowned professors, in nutrition, we gave some examples. Like when you sleep in the night, many times you feel. Even I get muscle cramp in the night in sleeping in air-conditioned room, right? Those people who are playing the pianos, fingers in AC rooms, they get muscle cramps. So it's not about dehydration, as rightly you have said. So still, that is one. Even I heard about that because of the blockage of the arteries and blood flow is not sufficient. So it interferes with the muscle contractions, the behavior of motor neurons, and that's how people get muscle cramps. And we fail to understand the correct reason why the muscle cramp happen. So even like when I run marathons, I follow all protocols for carbohydrate loading, taking glycogens at 35 kilometers, dehydration, but still I get the cramp because it's more related with the motor neurons and motor ability rather than with rehydration. So that's the reason why, and I'm sure, now you are okay, but that is also one of the reason for the muscle cramp, what you said, sir. Thank you so much for bringing this to the discussion.
I'll talk to you later.
Sure, sir. Sure, sir.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you, sir.
Knowing about him.
Ask you a question. Can I ask you a question?
Yes, please, please.
So this is with reference to the milk and eggs that we consume daily. Did you hear me?
No, no, again say, please repeat.
This is with reference to the milk and egg the common man consumes
Okay.
daily. It is understood today from the Food Safety and Standards Authority of India that there is genotoxic elements present in egg which is cancerous, but still we continue. The commercialization is on. Most countries have banned milk, but milk is treated as balanced diet. What is your say on this?
Yeah, it's I know I also have read many articles, and I have read many, like, references about what you said about the milk and both egg, and milk is in at many people, even the doctors, though they give very clear explanation about why it should not be consumed, as you said. Then it can be cancerous, like for the egg. But I cannot comment, since this is out of area of my, like, study. I just studied only sports nutrition. I am not that much deep into the food science. It's more related with the food science, so but I reserve my comments, here, even if I have an opinion on it, so I will not reflect my opinion on these matters. I leave it up to the food choices of people and their wisdom. So they read, they understand. But if the government of India or other successive other governments, they make some recommendations from the medical commissions of India, and hospitals, make, then of course we have to make a wise choice, listening to these recommendations. That's all I can say.
I'm in doubt because the country
Comments on this issue.
Yeah.
Sure.
Thank you, sir.
I think I have to leave because I have a meeting. I'm already late by 35 minutes. Dr. Sanjay, if
Thank you, sir, for your time and effort. So, yes, we have come to the end of day one. I'll just read out the schedule for tomorrow. The tomorrow day 2, 8:50 a.m. We'll start the program with the UGC net orientation. Then 9:30 a.m. we have paper presentation track 5. Then the third keynote session, which will be preceded by Professor Soni Jonty. Then we have 11:45 a.m. paper presentation track 7. And 2 o'clock p.m. panel discussion. Then by 3:30 we finish with the valedictory function. Now, the next event, that is, I am sure everybody must be tired by now. You must be famished. So 5:50 p.m. I request everybody to join in the auditorium because we have a cultural night, reflectio, meaning renewal of your soul. I'm sure everybody must be tired. So to replenish your soul, we have some cultural events performed by our interzone students who perform for our university. So I request everybody to please join by 5:50 p.m. in the auditorium. And for people who are living far away, I mean whose accommodation is far, please do explore our campus. There's enough greenery here. You have the tree gardens, and please explore our campus. With that, thank you all. And there's tea break. There's tea that's proceeded outside. Please have a tea. Yes, thank you everybody. And if anybody is needed, who needs accommodation, please reach at the registration point. Thank you. After the cultural night,